when it comes to doing it with the quickness of passing, and James Harden is a master at that for your Land Rover drives of the game.
Well, that is going to wrap things up from Barclays Center. Once again, the final score, Brooklyn 127 and Sacramento 118. Please join us again Thursday night when the Brooklyn Nets host the Orlando Magic. Our coverage begins at 7 o'clock with the pregame game time is set for 7:30. So for Sarah Kustok, Michael Grady, and our entire Yes Network crew, this is Ryan Ruocco. The Nets win a 7th straight game, a 9th straight against the Western Conference. Bob, Frank, and the postgame starts right now.
All right, Roots, thank you. Great to have you with us here on the Brooklyn Nets postgame show as the Nets win again their 7th straight victory. This one over the Kings, 127 to 118. They beat them about a week and a half ago. Yep. Certainly a different kind of game. Kyrie scored 40 in that game. Different people contributing tonight and able to hold off a Kings team that charged there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it wasn't the Nets' best effort defensively of the year, but it almost felt like they knew that they could get baskets whenever they want. That's something that's going to drive Steve Nash crazy. But how about Bruce Brown? If you go back to the last game, DeAndre Jordan was the offensive star with that tap-in that he had. Here's Bruce Brown getting 13 points in the fourth quarter, and when De'Aaron Fox hit the three to make it 110-109, the Nets went on a 14-1 run, and Bruce had 8 of those points.
You know, he owned the paint, and it felt like a two-man game sometimes between he and James Harden.
Well, you know, this is what you like about him. See, he's ahead of the pack right here, and he beats Marvin Bagley down the court. Actually makes a pretty tough shot. That's contested. But once again, so, you know, sometimes it's as simple as this, Bob. He just plays hard. He runs hard. He's always ahead of everybody. And then late in the game, you don't expect him to knock down three-point shots, but that's what he did. But he's so effective in the paint. He's not a power forward or a center, but he could score in the paint. And there he knocks down a couple of threes. The Kings bench was talking to him. I don't know if that was Jabari Parker over there, Hassan Whiteside. Somebody was talking to Bruce Brown that got him fired up, and then he hits this one, and this one he does the shimmy. But 13 points in that fourth.
I love they keep having the confidence not only to throw to him in the paint, but outside too. They knew that the guy had a hot hand. Why not just keep going to him?
Yeah, and then, yeah, you know, so Kevin Durant not playing, we know. Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot not playing, and then, of course, Jeff Green. Guys that would have factored so much into the offense. Bruce Brown is out there because he can defend. When you get 29 points from him, you want to talk about an added bonus, and he was huge in the fourth quarter because it looked like the Nets were there for the taking. And, you know, Sacramento, to their credit, fought hard. They made some big shots. Aaron Fox started getting hot. Bruce Brown was the difference in that fourth.
In winning 7 in a row, we've talked about this. They've always found different ways to win those games, but there was always a commitment to defense pretty much in those first 6. That kind of changed tonight. It was much more of an offensive game.
And I think, you know, you kind of expect it coming off of a long road trip. You're playing a Sacramento team that's not very good to begin with. But for the Brooklyn Nets, it's, you know, they always say that losing becomes a habit. To me, tonight is an example of winning becoming a habit. Just finding a way. You know, Kyrie Irving was great in the first quarter, really didn't do much the rest of the game scoring-wise. James Harden, of course, was terrific. They needed someone to kind of pull them through, and it was Bruce Brown.
Yeah, 14 of Kyrie's 21 in that first quarter, and then just 7 the rest of the way. But typical Mr. Reliable James Harden with his 6th triple-double since joining the Nets.
He's been great, and that's why you like what Bruce Brown is doing, running the court, because James Harden is the kind of player, he will look for you. He will pass the ball first. When he gets into the paint and he hits that floater, it always feels like that's his second option. He would rather lob the ball to somebody, whether it's Nicholas Claxton or DeAndre Jordan. He's been outstanding since they got him.
There haven't been a lot of Nets players that run down the court like that, like Bruce Brown did, and I think that surprised the Kings a little bit tonight, right? That he was just able to sneak behind him and made it easy on Harden.
And, you know, Sacramento is one of the worst teams defensively in the league, and that's an example of no communication and just being lackadaisical. And I like what Bruce Brown was doing. It was almost like he was lulling them into sleep. He knew exactly what he was doing. Then he would look up, and James Harden, we talked about in the pregame, his eyes are always all over the court. He's looking to make the pass. Those easy baskets are important over the course of a game.
In Harden's triple-double tonight, 14 assists as well as 11 rebounds, and of course Brown matches his 29 points. Longest winning streaks now in Nets NBA history. This is a 7th straight win. It matches what they've done 3 previous times. Next up is a 10 spot, and you see the best that they have, 2 franchise records of 14 consecutive victories. All right, we're going to take our first break here on the postgame. We've got a lot more coming up. Frank and I have more from the studio. We're going to hear from Steve Nash as he talks to the Michael and the media. Thoughts from Ryan Ruocco and Sarah Kustok from what they saw at Barclays tonight in front of 300 fans, and how do the players react to having fans and getting that 7th straight win.
We turned it up, held them to 22. I think they had a couple late buckets too, and when we were just, I'd put it to bed, so I was proud of that. I thought everyone contributed, and I thought this is a trap game. You have a winning streak on the West Coast. You fly back across the country, getting acclimated to family and friends and time zone and all that stuff, and you play a team you beat a week ago. It's a trap game. So I was proud of the focus. It wasn't always pretty, but they wanted to win, and they got the stops when they needed them.
I feel like a game like this from Bruce Brown was, bound to happen. What have you seen in this game, and what has he been able to, contribute that lend himself to have a night like this?
Well, Bruce is remarkable. I mean, the guy is, I believe he mostly played point guard last year, and he's playing, what do you want to call him, our center? He's picking and rolling and finishing with 2 bigs in the lane. His willingness and ability to do that is remarkable. He made some threes tonight, but for me, it's all the other stuff. It's the activity, the defense, the deflections, all those other things. You add it all up, and he had a big impact on the game before you even get to the points. So, fantastic effort from Bruce.
Ryan Lewis with the New York Post.
You acknowledge this is a trap game. I mean, between the travel and Sacramento's record, and obviously that's been discussed ad nauseum. I mean, is this a game that you might not have won, say, 2-3 weeks ago?
Certainly. I think I think that's a fair statement. We've come together a lot more. You can just feel the energy amongst the players. The bond that's formed, and that's something that you have to invest in every day, and that connectivity, like I always say, and the guys are investing that energy and support into each other every night, and that makes you tough to beat. So I think we've turned a corner in that respect. We're getting a little bit better at everything we do, and tonight, let's not forget, Jeff Green, who's been so important to us, was out. TLC out. Landry gets dinged up and is out, and we patched it together and had people step up and make plays. So, great team effort.
Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Hey, Steve, you got Nick to play about 14 minutes tonight. Just what did you think of him in his season debut, given, as you said, the long layoff he's had?
I thought he was great. Not an easy thing to do. He hasn't played in a basketball game for a year or more. So to have him come out there and to be active and to look, as fluid as he did, that's not easy. And I thought he really helped us tonight. So, I think he's got a really good future. How soon that'll come is yet to be seen, but he can make an impact for us. And if he can slowly gain experience here and get in the rotation, it gives us another player for depth. It gives us a player with length and athleticism. So, it's great to have him back.
Steve Lichtenstein with WFAN.
Hi, Steve. The way that Bruce is able to find seams and roll the paint, is that translatable for a guy, let's say, like Andre, who you got one of your first looks at tonight? So what did you think of him, and can he be used in that way as well?
A little bit. I mean, Bruce makes it look easy. It's not easy to be a 6'3" guard and be picking, rolling, catching the ball, finishing. Andre's a very intelligent player as well, but I don't want to put that on him. He can do some picking and rolling for sure, and he can definitely guard some bigger players. But Bruce is special in that he can do that. That's it's not a normal thing to ask a 6'3" guard to kind of be the roller. And so his ability to do that and to finish and to have the timing and willingness, frankly, I know a lot of guards would laugh you out of the gym if you asked them to pick and roll. So he's a winner, and he plays hard, and I think that skill is uncanny. So I don't want to put that on Andre or anyone else, but if they can do some of the things that he can do and to gain minutes for their defensive abilities, that would be a bonus.
Christian Winfield with the New York Daily News.
Hey, Coach, between that first quarter offense and that fourth quarter defense, is that pretty much what this team is striving to be able to do over the long haul of the season?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think our defense has improved. We've been good in stretches. We still need to be more consistent. And tonight I think some of that was all the parameters of getting back from this trip, playing a very difficult offensive team, and playing a bunch of guys who hadn't played for us this year. So a lot of things thrown in there, but overall we had our stretches defensively, and particularly when it counted, but a long way to go there, but we are improving, I think, every week.
Back to Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Hey, Steve, I'm just curious. You only had 300 fans in here tonight, and you guys were still pumping in the crowd. But were you still able to hear, their impact on things?
Yeah, a little bit. You can hear them. I'm not going to say it was, Friday night with 18,000, but it was nice to have people in the building. I thought it gave us a little bit more life, and hopefully it's a very safe and